Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Capricorn placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Capricorn, as I was preparing to do your reading today, I was getting this very specific image. It was the image of an igloo. And what I was seeing, if you think about an igloo, how it's dome shaped, and that centerpiece right at the top of the igloo is sort of physically keeps the whole structure from falling apart, right? Because of the way that the igloo is constructed and the dome shape of it, having that centerpiece in the middle keeps the whole structure in place and intact. And I was seeing that as you, Capricorn. The centerpiece or the keystone of some sort of structure around you, and it's being represented as an igloo. And I was feeling this sort of almost like this feels a bit like a tricky energy for you today, Capricorn, so just take it if it resonates, where the igloo, whatever this represents to you, was meant to be a temporary situation, maybe, or something temporary in order to keep you safe from harsh environments, like the winter, for example. There was a Libra reading that I did, I don't know, like a month ago or something. I'll link it above, that had this sort of message in it, so you may want to watch that, especially because Mars is in Libra right now, so that might be a significant energy for you. But anyways, what I'm seeing here is that the igloo is it's actually kind of feeling like the conditions are changing. Like what was once a harsh condition is actually becoming much warmer, right? It's kind of like the igloo is melting, but I specifically am feeling kind of like that whatever is melting for you, Capricorn, is there's another reading that I want to reference. It was a Venus collective reading, so I'll link that above as well, because that also had this message of melting, or resources becoming available, right? Or the seasons changing. It is something about change that's coming in for you. I feel like 6 months is an important time frame for either the last 6 months or upcoming 6 months is going to be significant for you. But anyways, maybe the equinox, the fall equinox, when the seasons are changing, could also be an important timing aspect for you. So just take it how it resonates, Capricorn. But I am getting this energy of the ice is melting for you. I feel like there is something here of a bit of discomfort in your energy today, Capricorn, because I feel like there's something of you feeling responsible for something that's around you, or because it is kind of it's really being emphasized to me in as the message for you, Capricorn, that you are the cornerstone or the keystone of this situation or whatever it is. And it's kind of if you were to remove yourself from a situation, if you were to take out that top piece of the igloo, the integrity of the rest of the structure would be compromised. That's how it's coming through. And I feel like that might be part of the anxiety or the burden that maybe you are carrying, Capricorn, or that there's something about this situation that feels really uncomfortable, because I feel like there is an awareness that if you were to remove yourself from a situation that depends on you, that there might be a tower moment for either those around you or for a situation or something like that. And that is what you are avoiding. That's how it's coming through. So it is kind of coming through is that a Four of Pentacles in reverse, like the shadow aspects of Four of Pentacles, of like holding on to something for fear of losing that thing. Like, so it's like, I am getting this energy of like you're holding something steady, even though it's become very burdensome for you, or that the environment, the conditions around you are no longer supporting that structure from continuing. And so I feel like there is something here where it's like the structure is melting, whatever that is, but I feel like you're holding on to it, Capricorn, for fear of, it could be like for fear of loss. And it is also coming through with being like, there may also be this aspect here, Capricorn, of like, what I was getting is kind of like, okay, maybe you are rationalizing this in a way where it's saying like, you're going to hold on just until like the new thing comes in, whatever that is for you. Because I do think that there is a new thing for you. There is a new thing. So it's kind of like you are holding on, waiting for the new thing to come in. Or that you're waiting until almost like a new cornerstone can be created. Like that kind of energy. Like, well, maybe I can find a replacement for my role in this, or maybe there's going to be something that comes in that saves the existing structure or something like that. And I feel like for you, Capricorn, the message that's coming through very strongly is that the structure also wants to change. That whatever it is that you are moving out of, because it does feel like you are moving out of it, the level of resistance that you may have will depend on each person. So just being conscious of that you're moving out of something and into the new, but I am feeling this energy of like holding on in whatever way that is for you. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing, but I am feeling like they're like part of what may be delaying this process, because it does feel kind of like there is something of a delay happening. Some like is the fear of loss of the existing structure, and the message that's wanting to be relayed to you is that the structure also wants to change. Like whatever it is that you're a part of right now that is sort of like at the precipice of change, it also wants to change. It also wants to evolve, but I feel like there's a bit of an attachment to the way things were or the way things are currently. And it's kind of like it feels much bigger than you, whatever this change is. And that the status quo for many others is also going to change with you. It really does feel like with you, but there's concern. I feel like that if you like that you will be the agent of change, or like it's more so coming through as like you're taking on the responsibility of other people's pain in anticipation of whatever this change is. I am getting this really strong like bracing yourself kind of energy. Like it's almost like it almost feels like you're bracing yourself for some sort of like really difficult change, and maybe taking on more responsibility for other people's emotions than you need to be. Because it's kind of like you're like, because of your role as the keystone or the cornerstone of whatever the structure is, it's almost like in removing yourself, you are seeing it as being like you're responsible for the destruction of whatever the structure is. And that is not true, Capricorn, because what I'm actually seeing is that, like, think of like an igloo, but suddenly the sun is shining down on it. So it's like the first parts of it to start melting are the edges, right? So it's kind of like all the edges that are holding something together are melting. I don't know scientifically, physically, if that's how it works, but that's the image that I'm seeing, is that it's like the metaphorically the mortar, right, that's holding together the bricks, that's melting. That's what it's coming through with. So it's kind of like you are not necessarily changing, or the others are not necessarily changing, but the thing that's holding it together is changing. So it's not a single person's responsibility to maintain the structure. And it's kind of like something new wants to be built out of whatever resources are now being freed. Because it's also feeling like the igloo or the ice is coming through as a metaphor of like something being frozen. And of course it's water, right? Water being frozen, and that it in a state of solidity, of like being very solid, not moving. There's no flow. And I feel like there's flow that's wanting to come in, or freedom of resources, and whatever that means for you, in whatever area of your life this resonates for you. It's coming through very strongly with Mars and Saturn. So very masculine energy, in whatever way that is for you, is wanting to be, is wanting to flow. And it's kind of like the first parts of it to melt is the mortar that was keeping the bricks together, right? That's how it's going through metaphorically. And so naturally the structure is going to change shape, and it's not your own responsibility. You are not the thing that's causing that, even though there may be this sort of perception that maybe you are, but it's not. So just keep that in mind. It's coming through as being like the momentum was there maybe, or it's kind of like this is in alignment with many different paths, or like, let's say this is a group, right? It would benefit everybody in the group. Whatever this changes would benefit everybody in the group, not just you, right? So that's how it's coming through. It does feel like a positive change. It really does. I really want to reassure you that it does feel like that, or that it is that. But that there is almost like this temporary period of time where there may be an increased amount of pain or a discomfort, or things falling apart, whatever that means for you. So that you can start building the new thing, right? And it feels kind of like Capricorn. You may be not the first. I actually think that this change is happening for a lot of people around you. Maybe you are one of the first to experience this change, but that this change will be happening for a lot of others as well. It is for the better. I know that that's a hard message to hear, especially if you're in the midst of something very challenging. But I am feeling very strongly like there's an increase of flow, and that part of the fear may also be that you don't know what the next thing looks like yet, and that's okay. And I think that there's also something that I was receiving about that the new thing, whatever it is for you, it could be like a relationship or a job or just an opportunity or something. The new thing, the thing that you haven't yet connected with, is actually experiencing delays. Or you might be experiencing delays, Capricorn. Just take it how it resonates. But I'm actually getting that the other in this, whatever that is for you, the thing that you will be aligning with, or that you're in the process of aligning with, is experiencing delays because of your process of what you are going through. It's like the universe is delaying the other so that they can align with you. That's how it's coming through. So be patient with this process, because I do feel like part of the discomfort for you will be letting go of what's no longer serving. And it also feels like this is going to be a process that reveals itself like layer by layer, where it's like you may have to say no multiple times to the same pattern, but in different forms. And it's just like a practice of saying no, actually, of like not allowing those the mortar to get clogged up again, or like re-solidified. You want to maintain the flow, and I do feel like this is a process of letting go for you, whatever that is, of like patterns, things that are no longer serving you. It's just letting go of that. Okay. Okay, so let's pull some cards for you, Capricorn. Everything is going to be okay. I do think, though, you are in a period of time where things may not be. Yeah. Yeah. The oil of vitriol. Yeah. Okay, so this is a card about anger and purification. It is a purification process. I sometimes see this as like an alarm bell. I don't know if it was the last Capricorn reading, or maybe just the second last Capricorn reading, that had something like this, of like a mystical sister energy that was telling you to like wake up, Capricorn. It feels like that. I'm going to link it above just in case. Yeah, acidity, resentment, and purification. Long-standing frustration and imbalance cause this regal creature to lash out unconsciously, consuming all in its path. Be prepared for emotional turmoil as the lion thrashes about. Don't worry, these changes are necessary for growth, and in the end will be a relief to all. Purification is the lion's aim, and it's determined to get there one way or another. When this card appears, the question must be asked: am I the green lion or the sun, the one consuming or the one being consumed? It is said that finding oneself in the mouth of the lion is a necessary moment on any spiritual path. As the discomfort passes, the sunbeams shine all the brighter. Okay. Purification is the lion's aim, and the end result will be a relief to all. These changes are necessary for growth. That is all that I was receiving for you in that message. There is something else here about, like, I feel like it feels kind of like there is a massive shift that has been wanting to come in for you for a very long time, Capricorn. It feels health related. That's what's coming through with this, but just take it how it resonates, right? So maybe it has something to do with your 6th house, your well-being, in whatever way that is. Doesn't necessarily have to be just physically. Your mental health, your emotional health. It's feeling like emotional, because there's the water is coming through so strongly for you. Like emotional health. I feel like there may also be a bit of a separation energy that you're going through, in whatever form that is for you. And I actually feel like you are the one who is, it does feel like, okay, this is why it feels like there's a bit of like either guilt or burden that maybe you're feeling, because it feels kind of like you are the agent of change, or you are creating the change, I should say. But maybe you are taking too much responsibility for how others might feel about that change, which is wanting to be released from you. Like let's say you are going through, I don't know, like a breakup, for example, or like that kind of thing. And it's like you're in a place where you are feeling vulnerable, but you may also be taking on the emotional burden of the other in the relationship, when that's not necessary, Capricorn. Like, you don't have to feel guilty for doing that, but I feel like that's a natural part of it, especially if you are healing from like trauma bonds and things like that, like feeling guilty for having boundaries or feeling guilty for saying no to something that is for your benefit, right? Like there is wanting to be sort of like a purification of that energy. You don't have to feel guilty or take on other people's emotional burden for something that is good for you, right? That puts your well-being first. That's just a message that's coming through, and that might be part of the discomfort. And I think the message that's wanting to be reinforced with that is that this change is benefiting you, but it's also benefiting the others involved, that the others will also benefit from you saying no. And I feel like that's part of the lesson that you may be learning right now, is that the trauma bond is not serving anyone, right? Like that's how it doesn't serve the other either. That's how it feels. So the structure wants to change. It does. It needs a change. It really does need to change. That's what's coming through here. I feel like that is what you're realizing. And I feel like you are also going through this process of realizing what needs to change. Okay. I also feel like, because the way that trauma bond energy just came through really strongly, that there's pain somewhere in this dynamic. Like what I'm getting is this like, well, you have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, but I'm seeing the Devil card in this deck, which has the goat with the feet on fire, where I do feel like you're experiencing pain in a separation energy, but that the pain is not about the separation, but the pain is associated with like how long this has gone on is actually how it's feeling when it wasn't serving you. And I feel like that's part of the painful energy might be the realization that you were in something for a long time that wasn't serving you. I feel like you're starting to see sparks of light metaphorically from this deck of like what the new thing is for you, but it hasn't arrived yet. And I feel like part of the energy that's wanting to come through with this is that like the alignment process may be taking longer than you thought it would, or that the other thought it would, or like there is this feeling of anxiety because of timing that I'm getting here. Like specifically a feeling of like running out of time. I feel like fall might be a significant timing aspect for you, which is fast approaching. And I feel like there is this anxiety about that. Like, I feel like whatever this new energy is for you is the anxiety about this. Was that a proper sentence? I don't know. There's anxiety. There's anxiety about this. The androgen. You have the void at the bottom of the deck. Okay, the androgen. Okay. There was this reading that I did for Gemini. It also came up in the last reading as well, so I'll link it above. It was called Freeing the Magician, and it referenced a pain flower. Something that was born out of pain. Something beautiful, but at the same time was causing pain. And that's what I'm seeing here in between these two. It almost feels like you're removing a pain flower. So it feels kind of like, I don't know. I'm getting mother wounds with that, but it doesn't have to be that for you. So maybe, but like it feels like a lack of nurturing in a particular area. It feels kind of like emotional nurturing. that is being removed. Like, this, and it could be like bonds or relationships where you don't actually receive any nurturing from the other. That's how it feels. Like, relationships where you do not receive nurturing, the other, I guess, would also not receive nurturing, but it's like, a habit, or it's a familiar pattern, or it's comfortable in some way. Like there's perhaps something like material security, but there's no emotional connection, or there's no, like, it's kind of that energy. There's something like being bonded together, but the bond is from ice and pain and coldness. And so, of course, when the sun comes out, it's like that all melts. And I feel like there's something about that that's becoming clear to you, like that this relationship, whatever that is, and it could be familial, right? It doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be for some. So just take it out how it resonates. Doesn't actually nurture you, or it doesn't actually give you any warmth, or there's no feeling, or if there's feeling, there's resentment, which is, of course, not what you want. And that's being purified. There is something about that spider there that's significant as well. I don't know if black widows are a symbol for you, but just take how it resonates. Yeah, the pain flower is being removed. Okay. Interesting. Capricorn. Okay, so you have this. And feel free to flip this if this is not resonating. You may be the other person in this dynamic. You have Scorpion, Zebra, and Elk. Because you may also be, because it does feel like you may be the other if this is about a relationship. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be friendship or family or whatever is significant for you right now. But so you may be the other who is experiencing delays because the other is going through a removal of the pain flower, metaphorically, like removing something or being removed from a situation that's no longer serving them, or that's not for their benefit, or whatever it is. Anyways, you have Scorpion, Zebra, and Elk. The Scorpion card wanted to be flipped. Like, I feel like this is part of what's being removed, right? The Scorpion aspect is, to me, this talks about pain being triggered. It really does feel like that. Like pain is being triggered, but the pain is showing you where, like, whatever it is that needs to be removed or dealt with, right? Like, that's how it's feeling. The pain is showing you, like, what you need to be saying no to. And it feels like a particular pattern. Okay. Anyways, I feel like Capricorn, this energy, it feels uncomfortable, is something that you're dealing with that is like causing something to be delayed, but just be patient with the process. The more you try and rush from anxiety or like this fear of running out of time, the longer it's going to take. So don't rush. Anxiety about running out of time is not going to serve you in this case, because it's going to increase the amount of mistakes that you make, or it's going to gloss over things that you really need to take time and to look at. So don't rush through that process. But I feel like that's what you are absolutely dealing with. It's just like this process takes time and you can't rush through that. But anyways, that I do feel like that's wanting to be separated. Like, this energy is leaving. This energy is leaving in whatever way that is, or it's changing, or it's like going through. But anyways, what you're being asked to like remember, Capricorn, is that you have the Zebra and the Elk. And I feel like the Elk is the other in this dynamic. Again, doesn't have to be romantic. It really feels like an energy that is supportive of you, like truly supportive of you. And that, of course, does not have to be romantic. It could be in a work situation. It could be friendship. It could be something else. This is the other. They're being activated by your energy. That's how it feels. Like, because this to me feels like a person. So it comes through the King of Pentacles, of course. But it's also this energy of like being called to do something, like being called into action, being called to take on some sort of responsibility or to step up in some way. Like that's what this card comes through with. Like it is a very masculine, dependable, reliable energy. It doesn't have to be a man necessarily, but this is this energy of like a masculine energy coming in to support you in this. And I feel like you are being encouraged to be in this zebra energy. I feel like there is something here about going against a pattern that you have. It's really wanting to specify a specific pattern of engaging with other people. It could be it in particular feels like feminine energy, but it doesn't have to be that. Or particular relationships where there is not any nurturing. It really does feel like that, but it's like because it's familiar, you may repeat those patterns, right? So just being aware of that, Capricorn, I do feel like you were breaking through that, and it could have something to do with like because the Scorpion card talks about like a really aggressive energy that's like really focused on like doing something well and like really passionate, but at the same time that fire can burn others, right? Like that kind of thing, like someone who's so focused on their goals that they lose sight of what's really important. And so I feel like that might be part of a pattern for you. Anyways, or like that kind of, or some, maybe you know someone like that, or like that's the energy that's coming through the Scorpion. It's like their fire burns so hot that it burns others. That's just generally what's coming through with this. Not to make excuses for this one, but it's just like, it's just coming through as like they don't perhaps see how their fire can hurt others, right? Like that kind of thing. They don't see how their fire hurts others, is just how it's coming through. So anyways, I do feel like that's part of what's leaving. This, on the other hand, what I feel like you are stepping into, Capricorn, and this could also be a representation of your masculine energy as well, so just take it how it resonates, is the fire, in this case, is something that energizes, that puts into like divine action. That's what this card is going through with today, like where instead of fire being sort of like uncontrolled, it's like this fire is used for very grounded and practical and supportive action that is divinely guided, and it's conscious. It's used consciously. I feel like that's the difference. I think, and you have dragon at the bottom of the deck. The androgen card is also this energy of the balanced union of masculine and feminine energy, so that could be you as well. But I feel like there is this period of time for you temporarily where there is going to be a bit of discomfort and like removing the grout that has been keeping something apart, is just how it's feeling. Like it's like, or I'm getting this like grinding energy, like two stones grinding against each other, like in a really uncomfortable way. I don't know what that is for you, but I was seeing the stone card and the Archetypes deck, which I'm not using. Maybe I should pull that one out. This feels like a very long reading already. 35 minutes. Okay. We'll just pull a couple more cards. Yeah, I'm getting the stone card really. Like, it's like the thread. You're pulling on something for sure, Capricorn. And you have the creator at the bottom of the deck. You are pulling on something. I feel like you're pulling yourself out of something, maybe. Or you're like, it does feel kind of like what's on the other side. What's on the other side of this thread is the elk, right? It's almost like you're pulling on the elk and they are responding is actually how it's coming through. I don't know what that is for you. I feel like the other is also going through significant change or being called to action is really what's coming through with the elk energy. Okay, can I have more cards for the zebra, please? Maybe you are, because the third eye is lit up in the zebra, so it feels kind of like maybe you're receiving downloads or like intuitive nudges to move in a particular way, because the zebra always has its ear perked, right? To me, it's very Sagittarius and Aquarius energy, like listening for the right opportunity to move, like that kind of thing, or like, because it does feel kind of like there is, I don't know if someone has caused you a delay. Like it almost feels like something has been delayed. But I don't know, maybe that was also part of divine timing as well, because I feel like in the delay, whatever it is, like, okay, it was coming through with like the example that I feel like most spiritual people and readers bring up whenever there's a delay energy that comes in this sort of message, that the delay was preventing you from, like, it was actually keeping you safe, right? Like if there's a traffic jam, for example, the traffic jam, being stuck in a traffic jam was actually saving you from being in a really bad accident up ahead. If you had been allowed to pass freely, there may have been a worse consequence up ahead. So it's kind of feeling like that, where it's like you may never know why this aspect for you was delayed, but it was for your benefit. That's what's coming through with this really strongly. Like it was for your benefit. The delay was for your benefit. The delay is currently for your benefit. And that the right opportunity will come up for you. And when it does, it's going to be perfect. But it's like right now is not the right time. And understanding that the anxiety that you may feel about something not happening the way that you expected or wanted to is for your protection. And it was for divine timing. And I feel like there is something that like still needs to happen in order for this energy to be in alignment. And it's like what the thing that is, okay, we're going to pull cards for this though. Like what else for Capricorn? I know that's not an easy message to hear, the Chariot. The Chariot, the horse is a really significant energy for you. Because it's like movement forward. I feel like that's part of this energy for you. And it's like this Chariot card, which is Cancer Capricorn for me. It's Cancer's card, of course, but this one in this deck always, like, this and the animal deck always gives me the balance of Cancer and Capricorn, which is your opposite. I feel like there is something where it is, like, you are being asked to wait, but you're ready. That's what this card is coming through with. And your intuition is guiding you along the right paths. And if your path takes you through a delay, trust that as well. Because it's kind of like maybe there is a situation where it's like you followed your intuition, but you were led through a traffic jam. It's like, why would Spirit send me down this path? And it's like, for your benefit, if you got there any sooner, there may have been something that happened, and you may never know what that is. The butterfly. The butterfly, 2 of Pentacles. I do feel like there is this, like, energy of, like, the car's ready, but the light is red. It's like revving your engine or something like that, Capricorn. It does feel like that. Like this feeling of like the car's in park, right? Or if it's not in park, it's like your foot is on the brake because you cannot go yet. That's what's coming through with that. But it's like you're ready. As soon as the light turns green, you're off, right? That's how it's feeling. And that's what's feeling like frustrating or uncomfortable or like there's anxiety wrapped around that. It's like, why is the light not turning green? And it's like, just be patient. It will turn green. Okay. Daughter of Swords. Yeah. This is a card about observing and learning and listening. I feel like this is a period of time where you are learning something, Capricorn. Like, it's kind of like, it's also feeling kind of like, like you're stuck at the light, but there are like signs all around you of like what things that you need to know before the light turns green. Like what's on the other side. Like, it really is feeling like if you are feeling like there's been a delay or something like that, it's the universe is doing that. And they're saying like, look, you haven't seen these things yet. And as soon as you see it, or as soon as you know what it is that you need to know, then it will be freed for you. Like that's how it's feeling. Like this period of delay is for you to get the information that you need. It really does feel like there's like some sort of sign or synchronicity that you need to know about this, or like what's ahead. It does feel kind of like learning or studying or like noticing or observing something. Yeah. Okay. 7 of Cups and Judgment. And I feel like the 7 of Cups is the thing that it does feel kind of like you have to see what's under each cup is actually what's coming through. Like, you know, in the traditional 7 of Cups, not 7 of Swords, which is interesting. 7 of Cups, there's like different things in each cup. It's almost like each one of those cups has like a little clue for you. That's how it's feeling. Like it has like a little piece of information that you need that's going to help you in the next part of your journey. But it's like, if you don't collect these now, it's going to be harder or something like that. And I feel like that's the thing. I don't know if the path will even open up for you until you've collected all of these clues. That's how it's coming through. 'Cause it's like, you need to get all of this now before I don't know. It's like this is part of your training, maybe? That's how it feels. This is part of your training, or like you need to get all the clues before you can move forward. King of Cups, the Father of Cups. You have 4 Pentacles. I feel like that's the frustration. Okay, look at this. Ten of Cups, High Priestess, King of Swords, and the Magician. So you have King of Swords and King of Cups. You have Ten of Cups, High Priestess, and Magician, which is like, and Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is overcoming some sort of challenge. I feel like there may be stress or anxiety about doing something quickly because you feel like there's somebody who's waiting for you, or like something that's waiting for you. And it's like, don't stress out about that, because it's like, I feel like the other would know. Like, it's like it's the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is coming out in whatever this aspect is. And this is coming through with a lot of patience and discernment here at the High Priestess and the Magician and the Father of Swords. Like, very clear, very intuitive. And the Magician is, I always see this Magician as being like, waiting. Patiently waiting for the right conditions. It really is feeling like divine timing is part of this. The Wheel of Fortune didn't come out, but it's like there is something here about like tension, like especially with this Four of Pentacles. This to me talks about like a very rigid situation where it's like there isn't a lot of movement because everything's so solid. It really does feel like that, like solid in like a lot of moving parts that are dependent on one another. So it's like the whole structure needs to move at once or it doesn't move at all. Like a lot of moving parts is what's coming through with this. I feel like this energy is wanting to come through for you, Capricorn. I don't know. It really feels like your energy is the one that's like really wanting to go, and there's anxiety about that. Because there's this feeling of like, if I don't move in time, the opportunity is going to be lost. That's how it's coming through. And I feel like that's not something that you need to worry about, because what the message that's coming through with this is that you are in this delayed period of time for a reason. There are things here that you need to know, or you need to collect, or you need to learn about before moving on. And you're not going to move on until you get all of the things that you need from this place. And the opportunity will be the right timing for you when you've learned all those things. Like, that's how it's coming through. Whatever those things are, I don't know what that is for you, of course. I feel like you already know, though, Capricorn. You already know. Okay. You're not gonna miss out on the opportunity. That's really wanting to be confirmed for you. Like, this is yours. It will be yours. And if this is another, it's like they may also, like, it feels very patient here with the High Priestess, Father of Swords, Magician. That's someone who is like incredibly in control of their own energy. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, this card has been coming up so much. The Peacock, be who you are card, and then you have Rest. I feel like this is, especially with the energy of like a red light, like being stuck at a red light, you're not meant to be moving forward at the moment, which is, I know that that's a hard message to hear, but it's like the light is red for a reason. You're meant to rest is actually how it's coming through. There's something that you need to see. I don't know what that is for you, but it's like there is something that you need to see or experience. There's something that you need to see or experience that's going to free your energy. Free up your energy in some way. Like, it really is feeling kind of like the mortar holding something together is being broken down, but that is freedom for you. Like this is looking to me, this Judgment card is looking to me like the keystone of the igloo being freed from the structure, and that's you. Okay. Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.